So back in February, I made a prediction that YouTube content's going to change forever, and the future, say 5 years from now, is going to be affected what's going to happen this winter, and how you can start doing that so you can rise your brand and your YouTube channel, move it beyond everyone else. Ways that even the biggest YouTubers cannot compete with. If you get this going, you will crush YouTube. Now, before I get into this idea, with proof as well, not only just theory of why it's going to be so powerful, I want to talk about how this idea came about. So if we back up years ago to like Casey Neistat days, it was like really cool stuff. It's like kind of raw, but it's well crafted. And then there was like this B-roll era with like the tech YouTubers, video and photographer YouTubers. It was great B-roll. Something happened and I realized like I didn't like watching these videos anymore. Even though I wanted to, it was just that I would listen to them most of the time and I would felt bad. I wanted to see the B-roll. I wanted to see the things. So I would put it in a watch later. And then I found out, oh, I'm not the only one. A lot of other people were the same way. I realized, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make a channel that's just me talking to the camera, no editing, no color grading, nothing. And that's when I started Bare Bond about like 3 years ago. And I would just post, and I still post to it just randomly. And, you know, shortly after that, about like 6 to 8 months, Sam Sulek started creating his channel, which was basically the same thing, but doing it way better, really good job, way more personable, took his camera out to the gym. And then people started following this as well because it is a great way, and it was right on brand with the times where people just want raw material. They just want to get to know somebody. They don't need the flash of a B-roll. And that's been the case and currently is. You know, then at some point, this podcast type format came up quite a bit. There's podcasts, long videos. YouTube rewarded very long videos. The shorts are all podcast clips from like a clip creator in AI or something. And it's all been a lot of people talking without really saying much, when it used to actually have a point to it. Now it's just too many people saying a lot of nothing. So this got me thinking around February this year. It's like people don't want that anymore. They're not going to want it because everybody's saying nothing. So what's going to happen next is like maybe people are going to start kind of scripting some videos, but it's going to die because that's not enough. We already tried that in the past. There is a concept that I think will happen this winter, as well as something has just been released to support that. And what I'm talking about is sessions and episodical content. So you could say it's like a Netflix series, but today with YouTube's announcement of what they're calling the living room feature, this is now proving my prediction, right? So what we have is YouTube saying, yeah, we noticed the same thing. We're right on the ball with you. The conversations that you're having are saying nothing. Your well-crafted B-roll, it's fine, but you know, it's not enough. And I've even was telling Victor and Kirby and all the Skool guys that Hormozy's videos are awesome, but they're missing this thing. They don't connect. And that is the key element here. It needs to start making sense as a series, as not just a batch of 5 videos, but as a formula, almost course-like, but not, because it can be in any order. Now, another thing that does support this as well is because, I don't know about you, but I actually watch a lot of YouTube passively. I set it up and I walk away, whether it's on my laptop or in my living room on my projector. This is how I unwind now. I watch YouTube. I don't go to Amazon Prime. I don't have Netflix. I don't do anything. I just put on YouTube, and a lot of times it's a playlist. This whole thing is here to say, yep, so we're making something for it. So YouTube has actually increased its share of TV viewership by like 30%, showing that I'm not alone, that in this past year, people have been pretty tired of watching it on their computer and stuff. So they just kind of generally just throw it on the TV. So the YouTube living room that has been released is going to feature creators allowing their videos to have these huge sessions like a TV show, having episodes. And here's the key element. It's binge-worthy. It's binge watching, just like Netflix. And not only will the YouTube really push this because they're like, wait a minute, not only am I going to have you watch one thing, but you're likely going to watch the whole thing, hours. So they now are, say, elevating to that Netflix TV show series, and they're going to push the creators. You've got to consider what happens when somebody goes on to Netflix on a day off. They're watching a lot of it or have it in the background, and it just goes and it just runs. YouTube wants that. Now, as a creator, you're going to really want to double down on that if you can. I've thought a lot about what kind of content this is, and here's my idea. You want to think about it as a monetization and engagement tactic. Now, because of this, you would likely think, oh, well, now I have to have like a documentary, a bunch of cameras, a really good script, a really big plan. But I say you don't. So my concept around this is the idea that you don't have to have it super well crafted with tons of B-roll. We already know B-roll isn't what everybody wants. And then you don't have to have super like quick, crazy cuts, even if it's not B-roll, like the Neistat vlog days. And then you also don't want to be completely raw, but you can be like the Sam Sulek raw formula. The podcast long videos of 50 minutes, an hour, and they will watch. So you want to be thinking that way. Like, what is the combination of these? It just needs, the first video to hook them and then pull out the story, have it episodical, but as a part of a giant one, right? That is one of the best ways. And I truly don't think that you need to have tons of editing. Just have enough. And think about it. It's like you're going to create maybe an 8-hour YouTube series, probably, if you're doing this. But man, will that take you far in authority, in branding, in monetization. This is going to be key. And it's not like you have to do tons of stuff in the video. You just have to truly dive into something to its fullest. A couple ways you can go about doing this instead of thinking, oh, wow, this is really daunting. You want to think about it as something that you can do over time. So one of the ways that you can do this is actually pretty easy, is instead of thinking, wow, this is overwhelming, I got to film 8 hours or whatever, you just have a concept and you film and upload over time according to the map. So this helps engagement and discovery, and you have a series like, oh, next week on this, we have it, right? And then all the future people can binge it. The people that are on it are on the hook. This helps it formulate into something that's worth talking about. And it's almost like a playlist, but it's all really kind of one huge video or parts of one huge video. So you want to organize the content into thematic sessions or into projects such as like, here's a deck, here's the archway fix, here's the roof fix, here's the foundation of the deck, here's the shopping for the parts, here's the blueprint part. Like you can look at it as themes or something that's cohesive, something that has an ongoing narrative where things can be discovered, so that people just keep coming back and they see how far it's come. They see things come up and how you've overcome things. You can have cliffhangers. You can have intentional character development. And this just really, really keeps your viewers hooked and engaged. Hopefully it's so good that they'll want to share, or they'll think about it and they'll feel so attached with so much time spent on you. So the next release is like newsworthy. And side note, if you can keep it to a schedule and learn from traditional television, that helps with people knowing when it's going to be and showing up. Now, if you want to stay ahead and follow my prediction and realize that this is a pattern that I truly stand behind, I think YouTube has also recognized it. You probably recognize that, you just didn't put it into words, that YouTube has become dull. And something like this is going to bring it to that next level. So it's not just YouTube that it's YouTube of the now. It's like the new Netflix, right? And it's creators, and they don't need to, fit into certain rules. They don't need certain cameras or budgets just because it's on YouTube. Netflix has all of these rules, and they're going to push this, and it's going to be really, really powerful. And this is all up to you and the work that you want to put out there. I think that this is a really powerful thing. Now, I also said this is going to show what is going to be the future of YouTube in, say, 5 years. And this is the possible outcome that I think of this is if enough creators do this and they are creating amazing pieces of work, YouTube is going to eat it up and push this so hard. They're going to have their own original series. They're going to be paying creators and having teams, and you can imagine how this will go. What this is going to do is elevate YouTube's standards, and it becomes something, unfortunately, that is not as easy to enter. I feel like a small creator might really struggle on YouTube in about 5 years because it will become a beast bigger than itself to compete with massive episodical movie-based things like Netflix or Amazon Prime. It's not going to be just like that. It's just going to have an element of that. That's my prediction a little bit. If you really want to stay ahead of everything, ride the wave. You're going to want to session out your YouTube and make it grand and big and stop doing what everybody else is doing and do this new thing that does truly lean into who you are and your story. If this is inspiring to you, I hope that you follow the link below to the community and grow your brand and your online business with tangible, real results as far as what to do next, step-by-step methods, as well as mindset in the game of online business and branding. So if you're interested in that as well, again, we have free communities on that. Definitely find it on Skool and subscribe to this YouTube channel so you're up to date on some big videos like this. And until next time, peace.